and I wear a cross, not because I believe, but all my friends are wearing it. But he took it off out of respect for Hakeem. And then he started learning Islam slowly.
No, I'm not worried at all. I rely on God, Allah.
Yes. You know, I find interesting his legacy because he was also an openly practicing Muslim in the NBA. And it seems like his experience or his effect has been different than, say, some of the other Muslims who are more controversial figures within the NBA. So he was openly fasting. He was obviously coming to Islamic conferences, so he's not hiding his Islam at all.
No.
But why do you feel he was received a little bit differently? Because, for example, he was not like Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, who was blackballed in the NBA, who was extremely talented. Like Mahmoud Abdul Rauf was very, very talented. So it was not a matter of talent, but it was more of him being politically ostracized. So what do you think is the difference that allowed Hakeem Olajuwon to not only be a champion, but also be able to represent himself as an openly practicing Muslim and not have that same type of blowback? What would you say? What would your analysis be?
Well, it's all about personalities, first of all, and understanding of Islam, second of all. Hakeem understood from the beginning that I don't need to preach. I need to show. I need to show what Islam is. I need to practice. I need to tell these guys, I don't drink, I don't party, I don't have, side girlfriends. I don't gamble. When time for prayer, I pray. Time for fasting, I fast. I respect every each one of you for what you believe and what you stand for. Therefore, I also, want you to give me the similar respect. I remember Christmas time, they used to come and leave gifts, or people trying to give him a gift. But you know what he used to do during Eid time? He used to send gift for every single member of his team, from the management, from the player, from the janitors, everybody. Wow. He would send them Eid gifts. So people love him for what he is. If you ever speak to Shaquille O'Neal, he would have nothing to say but praises about Hakeem. Why? Because Hakeem really showed what Islam is. He did not just preach. He did not want to be controversial. Also, the background, Hakeem, he personally told us when, I don't know, I hope he doesn't mind, but he said 2 African American came to me while I was practicing, all sweating, all this. And then they said to him, "Are you a Muslim?" And he said, I got offended. And I said, "Yes, I'm a Muslim." And then they said to him, "Well, get ready. We're going to pick you up for Jummah." He said, I took it, to the bone. How could these people even ask me a question my Islam? So he said, I was ready for Jummah, for the next Jummah. And then as soon as they took him to the masjid, they took him to the imam. And then what he did, according to what he told us those days when he came to visit us, from that day, he sat under that imam. He learned Islam from one source. He wasn't a person, learning from whoever he hears. No, he was very balanced. So he had, guidance. He had someone to tell him what to do. He was also eager to learn Islam. So, but at the end of the day, it was him saying, this is what Islam is. This is the beauty of Islam. And, a lot of people around him accepted Islam. And you remember that event, 7 people came out of nowhere, accepted Islam. And one of them, I don't know if you remember, Sayyid, Dr. Sayyid, there was a, Islamic school. There was a Islamic school. So we had an open court one night. And then was this Sudani kid from South Sudan. And he was, big, tall, and mashallah, he's like as tall as a Hakeem. But he's wearing a cross, right? When he came, he took it off. And he said, Hakeem, I'm a Muslim. He said, but my community, they were all Christians. So even though we were Muslim in South Sudan, but my father and my mother had to pretend that we're Christian, so we can fit in. And when we moved to Calgary, They still with the same community. And I wear a cross, not because I believe, but all my friends are wearing it. But he took it off out of respect for Hakeem. And then he started learning Islam slowly. So Hakeem had that, people would gravitate towards him, and it was easy to talk to, and he never judged anybody. And maybe that's why, he was well received.
Do I feel that the New York police are providing enough protection, or do I have to have protection of my own? I look for protection from Allah.